I've been told I sound white by both black and white people. When I was younger, I didn't understand what that meant. But as I got older, I learned the history of how we talk, why we talk this way, and how the idea of speaking properly is actually rooted in white supremacy. Let's talk about code switching. Some people think it's a skill that everyone has, but in reality, it's a privilege. The ability to switch between standard American English and African American English isn't accessible to everyone, nor should it have to be. But we live in a world that devalues Black language. So for some of us, code switching has become a survival tactic, one that unfortunately reinforces the idea that one way of speaking is right and the other one is wrong. Standard American English didn't just happen, it was created. The standard we use today is a mix of British colonial influence and a deliberate attempt to shape language in ways that upheld whiteness as the default. Meanwhile, Black American English, or AAE, developed from a mix of African linguistic patterns and English. And let me be clear, Black American English is not slang. It's a legitimate linguistic system with its own grammar, structure, and rules. So, if Black American English is a legitimate language, why is it treated as improper? White supremacy. For centuries, anything associated with Blackness, our language, our culture, our traditions, have been labeled as inferior. Respectability politics made this even worse. Think of shows like The Cosby Show. It pushed the idea that speaking standard American English was a mark of success, reinforcing the belief that speaking African American English meant that you were less intelligent or less capable. The truth is, there's nothing wrong with how Black people speak. Whether you speak standard American English or you speak one of our beautiful Black American English dialects, your language is valid. The harm comes when we start to believe that one way of speaking is better than another. When we say things like, I speak properly, to separate ourselves from other Black people, we are reinforcing the same anti-Blackness that white supremacy put in place to keep us divided. Language is power, and Black people have always found ways to communicate, innovate, and express ourselves in ways that reflect our culture and history. Instead of trying to correct each other, let's celebrate the richness of all of our languages and all of their forms. So what are your thoughts on the idea of code switching and speaking properly? Let's talk in the comments.